Hi everybody, Teacher Sarah here. I wanted to talk to you about a little walk I took the other day up the creek. It's Sanborn Creek, where we go for our classes sometimes. I saw so many banana slugs. They were everywhere in the sorrel along the side of the creek. But now here I am in my house, in my office, and I wanted to show you this little guy. There he is. But of course, he's not a real banana slug. We don't have any of those in our house. I borrowed him off of my refrigerator. But I would like to read you a story today about Norman. This is a book that's a favorite story of Skylar's in our Saturday Twos class. Skylar's dad told me about this book, and it's Norman the Slug with the Silly Shell. Because slugs don't have shells, do they? Norman the Slug thought snails were great. "Wow," said Norman, "look at them. They're amazing." Here's Norman. And look at how those snails can pile up high with those sturdy shells. But unfortunately, the snails didn't think Norman was great. "Whee! Crash! And Norman, you silly slug," they cried. "You've spoiled our fun. This only works if you have a shell." Look what happened. Norman went and tried to join the fun, but all he did was slither and slide and cause the snails to crash. Norman felt left out. Sadly, he skulked off into the moonlight. And there he is, looking at his reflection in the pond, feeling oh so lonely. And that's when Norman had an idea. Maybe I could have a shell after all. But finding a shell was not as easy as it seemed. One was too bouncy, one was too noisy, and one was already taken. Too bouncy, too noisy, and this one was already taken by a worm. Norman needed some time to think. There he is by himself, thinking by the trash can. Something's in that pink box. Ta-da! A shell! Finally, the perfect shell. Norman had never been happier. Now he could join the snails at last. Norman loved being a snail, and the snails loved Norman's silly shell. But the fun didn't last for long. Suddenly, there was a loud flapping of wings. I wonder, could you flap your wings? Can you flap and flap and flap? "Look out! Bird!" cried all the snails in a panic. "Quick, slither for your lives, or we'll end up as supper." Here comes the bird. Coming down into the pile of snails. But the bird was more interested in Norman's silly shell. It looked delicious. Norman was being carried up and away, higher and higher into the sky. What could he do? Norman did the only thing a slug could do. He made slime. Lots and lots of it. And with a slither and a slather, a slip and a slide, Norman was free. He slipped right out of that shell, but But he was falling, and falling faster and faster and faster until plonk. Norman, Norman, are you okay? Asked the snails. Wow, said Norman, that was great. I love flying. There he is. He's just slumped over somebody's clothesline in the backyard. I love flying, Norman said. If only I had wings. Oh, ta-da! And there he is. He strapped on a new shell that helped him fly. A silly slug indeed. And that's the story of Norman. I hope to come and see you again soon in your homes. And if you have a favorite book you'd like to tell your parents about, maybe they could share a photo of your book on Campfire or somewhere in our base camp. And until next time, so long, it's been a nice day. So long, it's time to say. So long, we'll see you next visit when we all come back to our mountain school at home. Bye.